Hello, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We have a special guest today. We have Illis.
Hi!
He doesn't feel comfortable showing his face, and that's okay because that's boundaries. So today we're going to be doing a really simple look because Nicole is like exhausted. And I don't know, I'm shy low-key. I don't know.
In front of another person?
Yeah, but it's like I'm comfortable with you, you know?
I feel like it's different though because it feels like there's another person in the room now.
Yeah, it's because like there's an audience and there's like...
Yeah.
It's like another set of eyes and it's like we're actually being broadcast in a way. It's like...
Our conversation is being perceived.
Yes! Yeah. Okay, so Illis is my best friend and low-key, I really want to talk. I've been wanting to do this video. Yes, we're doing the makeup, but I've been wanting to make a video with him and talk about... Wait, come a little closer because I don't know how loud you sound.
Oh, how? If you can hear me? Okay, closer like here.
Hold on. And so, I wanted to talk about two things. Two very important things! I want to talk about... Oh wait, we need primer. I wanted to talk about Severance. Okay, spoilers for Severance because I love that show. And we watched it together. We watched season 2 together. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The book and the movie. Okay, Illis, you want to start us off?
Which one do you want to start talking about first?
You want to flip a coin?
I don't know how to actually flip a coin.
I do.
You can? Do you have a coin?
I don't have a coin.
I'm sure, hold on. I'm sure I can do it on the website. What's what?
Tails, Severance.
Heads, one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
Heads.
Which one was that again?
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Okay, we're talking about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm also using this like little, I don't know, it's like a little crayon for the face. It's for like kids face paint and it's not as... Oh wow, I like the way it has coverage. Okay, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Do you want to start us off with a summary? I suck at like explaining things, by the way, you're gonna know that. Like when I tell my stories, it's like, I'm going to the supermarket, but while going to the supermarket, I saw a flock of chickens. And then the chickens were dancing. And then we forget about the story about the supermarket because then all these other things happen. So that's what it's like having ADHD. So Illis is gonna explain, because he's really good at that, so you wanna explain?
Thank you. I mean, basically, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is basically about this guy that voluntarily admits himself into a psych ward because I think the alternative was jail, right?
Yeah, it's because he thought he would get out easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the better...
Yeah, because he would get in trouble a lot, so he like pled insanity. And so, well, it depends though, because the book and the movie are different, because the book is narrated by this character. What's his name again?
Chief.
Chief.
Chief
Yeah,
was a narrator.
He's an indigenous man. Yeah. That, like, doesn't speak. They think that he's deaf and dumb.
Yeah.
And that...
We say yeah at the same time. Oh wait, go ahead.
But yeah, in the book, he's the narrator, so everything is like an observation through his eyes. And I feel like the book overall is kind of about like power, because there's a nurse who like she controls everything, like down to a T. She has their schedules, everyone listens to her, she has no issues. But then once McMurphy shows up, who's the main character, he starts causing issues and he starts having like, he starts having the other patients, stand up for themselves and have more autonomy. But in a way, he's also kind of manipulating them so that he can get what he wants too. So it becomes like this power battle between him and the nurse, which, are we spoiling the end?
Yeah, we're spoiling, there's spoilers in this.
Okay, which culminates in him, in one of the characters, I don't know if you're allowed to say this on YouTube,
I think we can say the word.
like ending himself.
Oh, someone, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say ending himself, because I know that's...
What was his name?
Billy?
Billy Bob?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Billy Bibbit?
Billy Bibbit!
Yeah, 'cause he stutters.
Oh, so his name was because he stutters.
I think so, yeah. And so he ends up, ending himself. And the nurse blames McMurphy for it. There's a lot of other stuff that happens. It's like he tries to escape at one point, but he gets so drunk that he like keeps putting it off, even though he gets an opportunity at some point. But even then, he's just like, no, there's no way, I can't do it. And then he misses out on his opportunity to escape, even though the window is like open and right there. So in the end, that character ends himself, and then the nurse blames him for it, and she accuses him of like playing God with the patients, and he gets so angry that he attacks her. And then he ends up getting lobotomized.
Yeah, because he ends up like can we say this on YouTube?
I'm like, I don't know.
I'm imagining like little 5-year-olds. He ends up.
Well, just because I don't want your video to like get flagged or something.
I don't know
if you say certain words, sometimes YouTube like flags them.
I mean, I feel like there's a way to describe things. So McMurphy has an outburst, and I calls it what do I usually call it? I'm like
having a McMurphy moment.
Yeah, he had his own McMurphy moment, and so he had an outburst, and so because of that, he had a consequence of being lobotomized. I don't know if I could say that. But we'll see with my 100 views. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more of an issue for like more popular creators, so I think they might fly under the radar for now.
Yeah, because it's like really interesting about like, I don't know, being perceived and having an audience is really odd because it feels like it's like, am I allowed to say things? Or like what is okay to like how is it okay to act?
Yeah, because you don't know how the audience is going to perceive it.
Yeah, but also the audience will perceive anything.
Yeah, it's not really in your control.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically we did it in opposite order where Nicole read the book and then we watched the movie together, and I watched the movie with her and then read the book afterwards. So we both had different experiences in that, because you hated the movie at first.
I hated the movie. No, I hated the movie. The reason why I hated the movie was because McMurphy's character was such a inside the book. McMurphy's character was such a he was like quiet. He was like kind of like reserved. He was more, he's like a really brash like, hey, how are you doing? Like he's like a guy's guy. I don't know how else to explain it. Like he's very like loud and he's very like proud. But it also in the book it really shows the subtleties of how he's kind of like he's very observant and he's very like he's very smart and he's like considering. And these are qualities that are not shown in the movie. I feel like the movie was like, he just like effed around and found out. Like it just seemed like he was like a monkey in a cage. Like, let me out, without the kind of like.
Yeah.
He like, you didn't really see the internal dialogue or like the little like subtleties of like the book. Well, you read it afterward, but you didn't see it in the movie. And he was just like, I forgot, they were just having a fight in the movie and he just got up and punched the window. That's my favorite scene ever in like in the book and the movie. I just love it.
Are you gonna insert the clip?
Which one?
Of him punching the window? Like in the video, are you gonna insert the clip?
I should. It's my favorite thing. Am I allowed to do that?
I think you can if it's a clip, yeah.
Kid, you sit down. I ain't no little kid where you're gonna have cigarettes kept from me like cookies, and I want something done. Ain't that right? That's right. Now will you sit down? No, I won't. I want something done. Sit down. I want something done. I want something done. I want something done. I want something done.
I'm gonna do that. It's the best thing. I need to learn how to do that, but it's the best thing ever.
But yeah, there are a lot of conversations and like moments of the characters'
My
relationships.
alarm's going off.
Yeah, moments of the characters' relationships that gets taken out in the movie. I liked the movie as like my first experience with it because I hadn't read the book yet. I think it's good for what it was, but definitely after reading the book I understood where Nicole was coming from, and I definitely like the book better. I mean, I'm also someone who just reads a lot in general, so I usually end up preferring the book. But yeah, there's a lot of details that get taken out that I feel like are valuable.
Yeah, like even the ending, like there was a dialogue that happened in the book or just like the actions of everyone leaving. But then in the movie, they didn't have that.
Oh, right. Yeah, everyone left.
Everyone left in the book.
Yeah,
And in the
except
movie,
Chief,
everyone was sleeping.
Yeah.
I did like Chief's character in both instances.
Yeah, no, he was a really good character. And I don't know, I do think it is important though that he was the narrator in the book because I feel like his relationship with McMurphy really adds to it.
Yeah, because like them finding out about McMurphy was like, no, I mean like, wait, oh yeah, because no one knew about Chief actually not being deaf and mute, and McMurphy was the only one to like figure it out.
Yeah.
But he like figured it out like right away.
Yeah.
And people have been living in the institution with him for years, and it's just like that just shows another subtlety of like McMurphy's character and how really like
He's very intuitive.
he is very intuitive, but he also has like a type of side of him that's very brash.
Yeah.
And like McMurphy like fucked himself in the end. Like I don't know if I can say that word. He ended up like, you know, fuck it. All right, I'm sorry. He fucked himself in the end because of that brashness and his like character defects. Like he had a chance to leave, but also I don't understand why he stayed. I was talking to someone about this, and he said like that someone was saying I'm gonna like chop it up, but he was pretty much saying like that's the only home he understood. Like he only understood how to be in those places.
Well, yeah, that's true because it's like I think that's the interesting thing because for so much of the story he considers himself different than the other guys because he did not voluntarily because that was important is that he found out later that everyone else was voluntary because
he wasn't because he was forced because the big nurse was the one who...
she's the one who could decide if he gets to be discharged or not because he finds out at some point that all of the patients are there voluntarily and he's confused as to why, but they like don't know how to function in society. But I don't think he can either because he was constantly losing jobs and getting into fights and like I think he thought he was different from them, but he really wasn't at the end of the day. He's just able to like, I don't know, I feel like he's just more socially aware than them. And that's the only difference.
Yeah, and he has like a type of like he's brave about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really like let people like with the nurse, like they were a big power dynamic because they were like constantly fighting for power, but it also showed like that type of like for people who fight for power like that, it also shows like internally they have a fear of losing control.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe I kind of like I don't know how I feel about the big nurse. The big nurse reminds me of someone I know that I'm really close to. Like someone I know. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. But I understand that. Like having a type of like, I don't know, power.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably her form of control. I think also with the context of when was the story written?
60s?
Yeah, with the context of that, of her being a woman.
Oh yeah, because
60s.
she was already like there was probably like that like she was already probably like underestimated.
Yeah, so it's like this was probably her only place where she had control.
Yeah, that makes
over
a lot
her
of sense.
life or like what happens in her environment.
Because she was also like a World War II nurse, right?
Yes.
She was a World War II nurse, and so that probably like affected how she acted later on too, because she probably needed like somewhere along the way in her life, she needed to act that way, and it's worked, and she doesn't know any other way of how to act.
Yeah.
Like I feel for her, and I just don't feel like I did not like the sexism that took place in the movie and in the book.
In the book has a lot of sexism and racism.
Yeah, there was a lot of comments made that didn't need to be made. Like there was a part in the book where McMurphy takes this girl on a boat and she like shows everything, but that like had
nothing to do with the scene.
It had nothing to do with the scene. They were fishing.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the scene. And I found it weird how like everyone starts laughing and then she starts laughing too. Like, oh, like there's no like these women that are written in the book have no type of like
Dimension.
Yeah. That's true, because they even wrote that, like, the girls like to get hit on and stared at by the men.
Yeah, I feel like the author wrote women as either very, like
I'm lucky to be hit on by men.
Yeah, they either,
like,
either wrote them as very harsh and, like, you know, like, unmoving, like the nurse, or he wrote them as very, like, ditzy and, like, you know, stupid.
Yeah. Like, they lacked a type of value under men.
Yeah, they definitely weren't given the same amount of, like, characterization as the men. And
Yeah.
the author is good at characterization, so he could have, but he chose not to.
He was good at characterization, and the only female character that had any type of power was, like, the villain.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like McMurphy, I feel like all of them were really flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to be like the big nurse was, like, horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, she was horrible, but I also feel like I understand where she's coming from, but also what she was doing was not okay.
Yeah.
But then also how McMurphy was going about it, like him, like, acting out and making really weird sexist comments and like doing what he can to break free from her hold, yes, is a powerful thing, but also I don't think was right either.
Yeah. I think that was her, like, you know, I think if she didn't act like that, like, she had to keep control of the situation, because she's on, like, a men's ward at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
But it's also not okay, because then she ended up, you know, taking advantage of their situations.
yeah, she took advantage of their situations. And even the other nurse, there's another nurse with, like, the Holy Cross, and I think, like, I don't know, the beauty mark or whatever. No one, like, not one female character was respected in the book.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even... That's something I did not like. I talked a lot with ChatGPT about that. But ChatGPT was like, he's a flawed character. I mean, it's, like, really powerful to have a flawed character, right? Because McMurphy is not perfect. I honestly really dislike McMurphy, and I'm not a fan of him, and I would never, like, approach or talk to him in real life, you know? Like, he's not someone I would be around because I wouldn't feel safe around a man like that. Wait, I want to show them your salt.
Okay.
So, he has this little container of salt he carries around. I gave him the sticker. He just carries this with him. I love it.
I have pots.
That's why. I don't know what else to say about the book other than... Oh, I do want to mention something about the book. I actually made 2 paintings. 2 paintings about it. And they're both connected, and so the first one is about... So, it's based on the book. And it was such a beautiful visual scene. So, the nurse with, like, the cross and, like, the mole or what... I don't know what she had. What did she have? I don't remember. She had something that they kept mentioning. And so... she was giving everyone their pills. She ended up dropping Chief's pill, and then McMurphy picked it up. And then he's such a huge character in the book, where he's, like, so tiny in the movie. I found it really interesting, but, like, Jack Nicholson does such a great job portraying him. Like, I feel like I wouldn't imagine anyone else, but also I would imagine probably someone else. I don't know. I feel like he played him well because Jack Nicholson has such a beautiful expression with his face. And so McMurphy has the pill, right? And there's this, like, nurse box. And the nurse is in it. He reaches his whole huge body into the nurse box to hand the pill. And she's, like, terrified. So I painted that scene. And it was just... I really love that scene. And so the other painting is in connection with this painting I just talked about. So there's a lawnmower! My brother is mowing the lawn. So with this next painting, McMurphy ends up giving the pill to Chief. Chief's like, no, I don't want the pill. And so Chief has these dreams, these really lucid, vivid dreams. And one of the dreams was this man being hung upside down by a hook. Like, I think it, like, hooked into his, like, ankle. And he's being hung. And I painted that, so that's what this painting's about. And... turns out when Chief wakes up, the man actually had died. So I still kind of don't know I don't understand, like, they never really explained it because they just, like, he didn't take a pill, he had a dream of this person and then the person ends up dying. They never explained it, I don't know. I think it just kind of shows how, like, in tune Chief is, probably.
Because he would talk about, like, his dreams and hallucinations about the place was, like, kind of like everything was, like, machinery. So I think he was just very, like, being there so long, he was very in tune with everything, like, without even realizing.
Yeah.
And maybe the pills were, like, suppressing that, and without the pill, he was, like, maybe that's what it was, I don't know.
It could have also been symbolism for the institution and what it, like, how it held him back.
Yeah?
Because it's really sad that he's such an observant, like, person. Like, he's really smart. Like, he has all of this, like, observation that people just went over. Like, they never gave, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They never thought he could be more than what they perceived him to be, and that's, like, really tough.
Yeah.
But also, he let it be.
Yeah.
I think it just, like, helped him because it allowed him to feel safe.
Yeah. Which he does escape, by the way. I forgot to say that.
I know, he does escape. He throws a big, I don't even know what that
Yeah,
is.
because there's, like, a moment in the film where there's, like, this big marble, like, sink thing. And
I don't know what it...
McMurphy, like, says, like, he's gonna grab it and he's gonna throw it out the window and escape. But he can't carry it because it's made of marble.
Yeah.
And so at the end when he gets lobotomized...
Oh, wait, but, like... Wait, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But also, like, when he, like, when McMurphy tries to pick up the sink, everyone's like, oh, you couldn't do it. I forgot if they laugh or not.
I think
But
so.
I don't know. But then McMurphy, the whole point of him doing that, it was like, at least I tried.
Yeah.
Because the other inmates aren't doing anything,
Yeah.
and so I think that was just a really good show of, like, no matter if you could do it or not, he's putting in the effort.
Yeah. Yeah, so then when he gets lobotomized, Chief puts a pillow over his head.
Chief says goodnight to him.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it like that, with a pillow.
Yeah.
And...
and then he goes into the bathroom and he grabs... He's a very big man.
He's a huge man, bro.
And so he grabs the marble sink and he throws it out the window and he escapes.
Yeah, he
runs off, and
escapes,
that's
he
the
runs
last
off.
scene. Yeah.
It's really beautiful because before we see Chief walking up to the window and seeing, like, a lone wolf,
Yeah.
I think. And it really... I think that's, like, symbolizes him later on. Like, it, like, foreshadows it. Okay. I need... What color are you feeling? Read my mind.
I'm really saying pink.
Wow!
I don't know. Maybe orange?
Orange is a good one. I feel like I wanted to go low-key, but I never really go low-key. I honestly... This is, like, probably my new, like, favorite right now. But I think it, like, wipes. I think it does. I don't know. It's
It's gonna
not
be your
wiping.
longest video yet.
Oh, yeah,
discussion.
it's gonna be a discussion. Honestly, this is what I want to do. I wanted
like a
to explore.
podcast.
Yeah, it feels like a podcast because I really love. What was the quote that I ended up like sending you?
From the Substack?
Yeah, from the Substack
Here, I'll pull
thing.
It up and read it. It's from an essay titled. Open in the app and I haven't logged in yet. Basically, it's about like sometimes the reason you can't find people you resonate with is because you misread the ones you meet.
Yeah.
And so the quote was, "A person can't be contained in your ideas about them. This was a core idea for us. To whatever extent I assumed I knew who Joanna was, I treated her as something that I could fit in my head, as something smaller than me. But she couldn't fit in my head, nor I in hers. That was the exciting thing about it. You can only ever know another individual if you meet them in open dialogue, if you treat them as unfinished, as capable of surprise."
Ooh.
and that
I think I was talking about a different quote, but that's still a
Oh,
good
that's the one that
one.
you sent me. Which one?
I
are
sent
talking
you
about?
another one. I feel like it's like
the
two people.
personalities
The
one?
personality one's kind of
so
like.
sorry, Carl
No,
Jung.
you're good. That was still good.
Yeah.
Like this one's a quote from Carl Jung.
Yeah,
Okay.
the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed.
Yeah, because that's what I feel like you and I have.
Yeah.
Like you and I have that type of like substance where I really feel like seen, especially in my like thoughts.
Yeah.
You're my bubbies. You're my bubbies. Howard's not in the room today.
Yeah, we had to remove him.
We didn't have to remove him. We had to kindly place him away
Yeah.
until I come back. So he kept attacking Illis.
Me and him used to be chill, but I haven't been over in a while because Nicole's been coming over to me a lot.
Yeah.
So he's not used to me anymore. So every time he comes up to me, he like sniffs my hand and then starts nibbling it, and then he attacks my hand, which is what he used to do in the beginning. So I think it's just because we haven't reconnected.
Yeah, and he's very protective in general.
Yeah,
like
he's very territorial.
Yeah, like he's only really sweet with me. And it's really interesting because like last video you see how like I hold him like a baby. Like he's like with me. He like is so docile with me.
He's like a baby.
He's like a baby. And then with other people he's like very firm, like don't touch me or I'll like rawr. Like he's like he growls. And when you give him food, hold on. Wait, let's talk about Severance.
Okay,
I want to talk about Severance. Severance is a good show. I don't watch shows, by the way. I absolutely like hate shows because there's like ex machina or the character like sometimes characters don't have like consequences.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like a character does something really shitty, and then another character is like, okay, we're best friends still. Like it's I don't mess with a lot of like faults and
That's why you
like
didn't like, Nicole didn't like Bottoms.
I hated that movie. I was also like collapsing.
That is true.
I was collapsing because I was pulling all-nighters cleaning my office because I was going through a really rough time. I was going through something silly. It wasn't silly, it was a breakup. But like, so what I would do, I would like clean, I like picked up a habit of cleaning and I would just clean till 6 a.m. and then I would wait till 8 a.m. or whatever time Home Depot opens so I can get my industrial glue. And I really love my industrial glue. Like I have this like big ass glue. And so it like helps with a lot of adhesive. So like I was collapsing and then he put on the movie with his girlfriend and is that
Yeah.
Okay, he put the movie on with his girlfriend and they're having fun with it. I hated it. I hated it. It was also supposed to be that.
It was like a satire, but that did come to mind right now when you were just saying that, where like the characters do awful things and they don't really get any consequences, or they get like forgiven really easily. But back to Severance. We finished season 2 last week.
We finished season 2 so late. I don't care. We were watching an episode like a week.
Yeah.
So we really, because I feel like it was coming out once a week too, right?
Yeah, we just started later.
Yeah, we started later.
Yeah, but it was amazing. I haven't watched a show like that in a long time.
Yeah, I really am impressed. The character arc of like all of them were so good. Who's your favorite character?
I don't know. I'm really between obviously Heliar and Irving. I really love Irving's character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my favorite thing about the show, I'm a writer and I really love exploring like relationships and different dynamics and like nuances. My like writing is very character driven. So I find one of the most interesting things about the series is the way it explores relationships and like innie versus outie and like, you know, the different, I don't know, like the ways that they are like the same person at their core but they're different people and they treat
because
people
the
differently.
environment is what.
Yeah, it's like I think there's an argument for nature versus nurture in the show, because that's like Heliar, right? That's the whole thing where it's like when she exists as her innie, she's this very like brave and like defiant person. She like knows what she believes in. She doesn't stop at anything. But when it's revealed, spoilers for season 1, that she's Helena Egan, who's a very different person, it's shocking because I don't know, it shows like, I don't know, I think Heliar is a really interesting character because she shows the potential of what Helena could have been. But her environment shaped her into who she is now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I really love that. Oh, I love Devin too. Mark's sister.
Yeah, she was a really
great
good character. She was such a realistic character. I really love how realistic they all are.
Do you know the actress is gay? She has a wife. Yeah, I didn't know. I liked her, like one of her reels randomly came up on my Instagram feed and then
Good for her.
And then I saw she has a wife and I was like, oh my god.
Love that.
Not just one gay, 2 gays.
Oh yeah, Milchek.
Yeah. Oh, his character too. I love
He
his
was
arc
my
in season
favorite.
2.
Yeah.
His arc in season 2 was so good. I'm actually really excited. I think he's the character I'm the most excited for their arc in the next season.
Yeah, because he's, like, the subtlety of, like, him kind of, like, being... I don't know why they kept, like, fixating on the words, but I think it just shows that they don't really respect him.
Yeah.
Like, it
it's
shows
definitely,
that
like, a
they're
racism
above
thing.
him. Yeah, it is that. It's like, you're less than us because we're higher up. It's also
Yeah.
hierarchy, too.
Yeah, yeah.
And he... Like, I remember when, I don't know, the mannequin, there was a mannequin in season 2, like the final episode.
Oh, yeah, the mannequin of Kier. Yeah.
And then he was talking with Milchick because they have a whole thing, like, going.
Yeah, they're
and
pretending
then,
to be hosts.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like host, and then Kier, the mannequin of Kier made a comment towards Milchick, and then you see the camera like close up on Milchick and like the subtlety of like that hesitancy, and then he goes back to reading. And that's like that's like what film does.
Yeah.
Like film is so good because it's like you're not just reading it, you're not imagining it, or you're not just like, I don't know. It's like there's so many elements coming together. It's like visual, auditory, I don't know what other. Sensory. I don't know. Wouldn't sensory feel like, I don't know. How would you explain that?
Like sensory? How it's sensory also? Because I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's... Because I feel like, at least for me, like, it's an experience. Like, whenever I'm watching a TV show or film, I get fully sucked in to the environment. And, like, the whole environment that you're perceiving in a show or movie is controlled by how they're directing it and how they're writing it. So I feel like it's sensory in the sense of, like, what you see, what you hear, like, what you feel. Like, I feel like it affects you, like, I don't know. I feel like there are certain times where TV or film can affect, like, your, like, physicality. Like, you feel it. You feel what's happening in your body. I think that's just good writing. Oh, something I also loved. I loved Harmony Cobell. Her whole arc in the season.
Harmony Cobell is like, oh, Miss
Miss Cobell,
yeah.
I loved her arc, and I loved how her arc coincided with Miss Huang, the little girl, because I feel like them showing her history, them showing her history informs why there's this like little girl in the office, and like how they kind of like build them like soldiers from a young age, and like indoctrinate them into Lumen. Because that's what we find out. We find out that she was there since she was a kid, and she, like, invented a bunch of stuff in the company, like, she had to do with Severance. And they took her ideas, and they threatened her. And I think that was really interesting, and I love how her arc informs us of... And, like, it gives us because they never explicitly say anything about Miss Huang. Like, there's, like, a running theme of them asking her, like, that one scene where it's like, oh, why
is there a kid here?
Yeah, why is there a kid here? Why are you so young? And then she goes, because of the year I was born. So it's very vague, but I think it informs it really well. It's really good writing.
But I love how they show it later on because they show it through a different character, and then you kind of like piece it together. They're doing this to children because Mrs. Cobell, she's a really rough character. It's hard for me to like her, but I kind of like respect her.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like talk to her, but I don't know, she has a really interesting, like, her character's interesting, like, observation wise, because she acts in such a like childish, brash way too.
Yeah.
Like when she doesn't get her way, she'll like push through.
Yeah, she throws tantrums.
Like she like forced herself into her house, and like she fell asleep. Like she showed up to like an old friend working.
Yeah.
And I forgot how the conversation went, but she was like, "Take me here." She was very like demanding.
Yeah, she is very demanding.
She wasn't nice about it. She wasn't like, "Hey, how are you doing?" She didn't care.
Yeah.
But I find it really interesting because like she's not fake about it. She shows exactly her own intentions.
Yeah.
But she also hides her own intentions because you could see how her hiding is such a nice persona because how she was with Mark S. and like the sister.
Yeah. Well, because she needed something from them.
Yeah, but also she was probably doing it behind the company's back for some reason. Like, I don't think the company knew she was doing that.
No, definitely not. They're looking for her. But yeah, no, I really love that. I'm interested to see more about, because it still, you know, left us with a lot of questions. Like, we still don't know why the lambs are there. At least I don't know. I don't know if it's obvious to the audience or like other people, or if they theorized. I still don't understand the lambs.
I think it's just like because they're such an old company, they do things like an old way. So when they were trying to sacrifice Mark's wife, they were trying to sacrifice Gemma. They were trying to sacrifice Mark's wife, and they were having like a lamb. I think it's just old ritual.
Were they trying to sacrifice her though? I don't know if they were. I feel like
they
had like severed her into like a bunch of different, like 26 different like personalities, but like I don't know I still don't know what they were trying to do with her.
Miss Colbell was saying like she was gonna die, like because technically to the real world she was already dead.
Yeah.
So then I think that they were just using her as an experiment because I think she can't go out into the real world. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's confusing.
I am really interested to see. Oh, I love the fighting between Innie and Outie Mark. I love the conflict between them.
Yeah.
In the scene where they're talking to each other through the camcorder. I don't know. I just really love the Innies kind of like recognizing their worth over the series so far. And like, even though the only reason they exist is because of their outies, it's like, it has the argument of like they were like, you know, made alive and now they don't have any autonomy, but they, you know, feel and think just like anyone else. What was it? I think Heliar, when she was talking to the marching band, she said they give us half a life and think we won't fight for it.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I love it. Obviously all the themes of like, you know,
I
working
love how
class
rebellious
solidarity and
she
stuff
is.
like that. Yeah, bro's trying to like kill herself.
Wait, she's trying to... She did
say goodnight.
She's trying to say goodnight in an elevator, and then her outie finds out, and her outie gets so freaking pissed.
Yeah, and then like she like threatens to, you know, like remove her fingers at some point.
The outie or Innie?
Innie. Remember when she goes up to Colbell with like the paper cutter?
Her outie would have been so mad.
Well, but that's why they were letting Heliar do what she wanted to do, because they knew that like they couldn't let her hurt Helena. Oh my god, and the scene where did they go? What is it called? Hollows what? What was it called? Hollows something.
I don't know. Where they were outside?
Yeah, and then Irving like catches on that it wasn't Heliar, and he's drowning her, and then she screams at him and she says, "Do it, Seth." And then he goes, "Yeah, do it, Seth." That's a really good scene.
It was good because, like, I caught from the beginning that it wasn't her.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure yet, but then there were things here and there. The first thing you caught was the camera thing, right? Her, like, pointing out that there are no cameras because she's their camera.
Yeah. Like, she was pointing out, like, she seemed so, like...
hesitant.
Yes, but also... she seems so collected.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, you clocked it from the first episode. I wasn't sure because I was debating. I was like, I don't know if she's acting like this because it's Helena or if it's because she knows the truth about her outie and she doesn't want to tell them, so she's like being like reserved. But no, it was true. I think the thing that finally tipped me off is when her and Mark were going to go see the lambs again, and they're walking there, and even though Helena was the one, Helly was the one, I think either she was the one who found the entrance or like she should remember because they went through there. She asked him like, "Oh, is this it?" And I was like, that's weird. I feel like she would remember that. They found it together. So that's what tipped me off, and then it was confirmed in that episode. I love that. I love her and Irving's relationship. Oh my god, and why am I blanking on his name? Dylan, yeah. Why my brain was saying Danny. I was like, that's not, his name is not Danny.
Oh my god, yeah. Dylan! Yeah. I love Dylan!
Dylan and his wife. Oh, that was a really interesting one too. How she fell in love with his Innie because he reminds her of what his outie used to be like.
Yeah. It was hard. And the fact that he like shut down on her was because of how like, I feel like he knows it.
Yeah. I mean, he says it like in the letter he writes to the Innie. Of that he was jealous and like, you know. Yeah. No, it's really heartbreaking and beautiful. Which also I love the actress that plays his wife, because she's in The Walking Dead and she's also one of Schmidt's exes in New Girl, which is one of my favorite shows.
Oh, he's the where he cheats on.
Yeah. He cheats on her and Cece. I think her name's Elizabeth. So I was really excited to see her play Dylan G's wife. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see everyone's arcs. I'm really excited to see what happens with Irving, because the last we saw of him, he got on a train with his dog.
And he said goodbye to...
He said goodbye to Bert.
Christopher Walken, right?
Christopher Walken,
He said
yeah.
goodbye to Christopher Walken, and he was like putting his head to him. Wait, put your head to mine, but don't.
What do you mean?
Like, wait, you
Like
could put
cover
it
my
here.
face?
Yeah, cover your face. No, but it's up to my hand. My camera's overeating.
Oh, okay.
Up to my hand. Like, wait, a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't see you.
Okay.
So I didn't mean to hit it. It just fell. But like he was like that, but slow about it.
So your camera's overheating? Do you
Yeah,
have to
it's
stop?
overheating. We're gonna take a
break.
I would take a little really quick break and we'll come back with my outfit. Goodbye! Okay, we're back and we gotta go. We're very late. We're going to a poetry reading, so this is the outfit. I drew on this shirt, I cut it up, and it has like a little like cape. So this is the outfit. And these are the shoes. They're not the boots. I used to wear these a lot. They're like bowling shoes. Like look at the bottom. They're like bowling shoes that I've like used a lot. I've painted them. Their shoes, like they're really used. Like I like, they came brand new. Like I thrifted them for like 10, 20 bucks. Really reliable. Okay, Illis, say goodbye.
Bye.
Nicole, say goodbye. Bye. Okay, so like the photos. Wait, put your hand here too. Photos of today. Photos of today. Nicole wants to go because Nicole has to go, and this video is gonna be a long video, so I hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.
Let us know your thoughts on Severance or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the comments below.
Yes, please let us know. Oh, sorry. Water spilled. So we're gonna go. It's okay. Here, I'll give you some more wipes. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.